Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 011, Arithmetic, Section 3.5, Problem 26. This is Section 3.5, Problem 26. It says use the correct order of operations to complete the problem. And we have two, there's no operation indicated, but it's really 2 times, in parentheses, 10.8 divided by 0.5 minus 0.3 in parentheses to the second power. So a lot of things going on in this problem. So for order of operations, I do see some parentheses. If you have parentheses, you must do the work in parentheses first. So off to the side, let me just do that division. So I'm going to have the 10.8 is the number that goes under the division symbol, and the 0.5 goes in front of the division symbol. So now, next, I can't leave the decimal in front of the 5 for the number outside, the divisor it's called. I have to move it as far to the right as it will go. So the 10.8, the number inside the division symbol, has to have it move the same number of spots. So really, the division I have to do is 5 into 108. So 5 divides into 1, it doesn't. 1's not big enough. 5 divides into 10, it goes in exactly twice. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. Bring down the next digit over, which is an 8. 5 divides into 8 once. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now notice I went all the way to the end of the digits and it didn't go in evenly. So what I have to do is think of the 108 as 108.0 and bring the next 0 down. Now 5 goes into 30. It'll go in 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. It goes in perfectly without a remainder. But now that decimal that I put in has to come straight up into the answer. So the answer is 21.6 for the division, for the work in parentheses. So now let's write the problem again a little bit simpler. Instead of 2 times this work in parentheses, it's 2 times 21.6. That's the result of the work in parentheses. Still minus 0.3 second power. So now the parentheses are done. I still have some parentheses written in the problem, but there's no work to be done in them. So now what happens next, I have, this is a multiply. It's really 2 times 21.6. There's a subtraction and then exponent. After you deal with your parentheses, exponents come next. So I have to do that 0.3 second power. So in other words, that's 0.3 times 0.3. Like that, multiply. So 3 times 3 is 9. The multiplication is easy. The thing is you have to get your decimal in the correct position. In the question, the multiplication question, I have 2 places after the decimal. So I must have 2 places after the decimal in my answer. So that 9 has to have a 0 in front of it. It's 0.09. And some people like to even put a 0 in front of that decimal, 0.09, which is okay. That can be written either way. So now I've simplified it a little bit more. That exponent is done. So now I have 2 times 21.6 minus 0.09. So now I'm down to 2 operations left. There's a subtraction, and again, the 2 written next to the parentheses without an operation indicated, it's really multiply. So I have a multiply and a subtract. So according to the order of operations, the multiply has to be done next. So 2 times 21.6. So I can do that off to the side. 21.6 times 2. That's small enough. I can actually do that without writing it out. But let's write it out. So 2 times 6 is 12. Write the 2, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 more is 3. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So I have 432, but I have to put the decimal in. It's not really 432. In the question, how many places altogether after the decimal? Only 1, right, for the 6. So in my answer, I must have also 1 place after the decimal. So it's really 43.2. So this multiplication, 2 times 21.6, 43.2, and then it's minus 0.09. So the last thing left to do is the subtraction. Now, if I have to do it without a calculator, I prefer to write subtractions and additions with decimals vertically. It's a little too tough to do going side to side. So I will write 43.2 minus 0.09. Now, Notice they both have 3 digits, but I can't line them up with the digits right over and under each other. What I have to really concentrate on is lining up the decimals. So this way the decimals are lined up the way I wrote it. So now when I subtract, there's nothing over the 9 from the bottom, so you can just put in a 0. Now it all lines up nice. So now when I start, 0 minus 9, the 0 is just not big enough. I'm going to have to borrow. So cross out the 2, reduce it to a 1, and then that 0 can be written as a 10. So 10 minus 9 is 1. Now next column, 1 minus 0 is 1. The decimals have to line up, so I have a decimal in my answer. Then 43 minus 0 is just still 43. So my final answer is 43.11. So this whole problem that we started with, when we do all the stuff correctly, the final answer comes out to 43.11.